your coffee and sit back and relax. We have another great band. All local, well, local. You're Canadian is awesome. You guys are really great, right?
Um, I'm out of St. John's, Newfoundland, and
Oh no
so
way.
is some of the other. Yeah, there's people across Canada. There's the drummer is in Brazil, so it's all
Hmm.
over the place.
I don't know why I thought Calgary. Maybe that was the band from the other night. They uh they were in BC doing a show, and then they
Um,
got back, and
okay.
one of them were sick, so they were like, "Man, we got we got to reschedule." So that's probably where I'm getting from. That. But out in Newfoundland, man, that's fucking pretty cool. I've been waiting to get
Yeah,
it. Like people, Newfies, like they're always out east or out west, sorry, or down south. They're out east, right?
yeah, as far east as I can go. Where I'm out in St. John's, so that's as far as it
Yeah.
goes to the east. And a few of the other people that are on the album are from here as well, but we got there is someone from the West Coast, Marley Riley, who is in a Canadian band called Hyperia. She sings on two of the songs on the Triskelion album, so uh, maybe you're thinking of Hyperia. I'm not sure, but
Maybe I know they were supposed to be on not long ago too. That's probably who I'm thinking of then.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm actually under the weather a bit. I'm supposed to go to work after this, but I don't know, man. I can feel my skin getting hotter. Oh, I'm like, oh, but oh no. What do
yeah,
you
man.
do,
Any
right? You got
excuse to work on a Saturday.
yeah. Well, uh, I've been basically working the last 4 months solid, taking like one day off here or now and again, right? But it's catching up with me for sure right now. So
I would say hardcore.
yeah. Do you do just straight up music, or do you got to do the fucking day walker job too, like some of us?
Oh yeah, Daywalker. Yeah, yeah. There's unless you're Iron Maiden or something, there's not a lot of musicians who are able to make their full living just from music. Well, they can from music, I suppose, if they're like teaching lessons and other things to supplement their touring and live playing and CD sales, which are not as like they used to be. So most musicians are working some to some in
No,
some way. So yeah, I have a 9 to 5 kind of job. So yeah,
yeah, I found that a lot, especially doing the show here, talking to all different bands, different people. Like maybe 4% of everyone, like that's all they either teach music or the band's doing good enough they can just make it by on the merch and the CD sales and ticket sales. But yeah, no, 99% of us all got to go out there
yeah,
and crush. But everyone sees you guys. Oh, they watch the videos, listen to your music. Oh, they must be fucking touring the world. you know.
yeah. No, no. The reality is a lot. I think a lot of musicians' lives is pretty similar to everyone else's, aside from, they get to play music or something. That's about it.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? On how that works. All these messages coming in. Let me turn all this shit off. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. But so with the band, you guys kind of being around from all over. How did you guys even kind of hook up and find each other that way?
Um, well, I started it myself just one day. I was kind of like I kind of view it almost like a solo project because my main band, which is a full band that are all here, is called Category 6. And
Mm-hmm.
in kind of the downtime during COVID, I guess, and the pandemic lockdowns, all that crap, I had more time to on my own, I guess. So I said, well, I wonder if I could do something myself. So,
Yeah.
because I had never done something without being in a full band situation with everybody physically present. So, the first thing was I wrote a song and had it recorded to a click track kind of thing, so it was in time. And I sent it to a guy who's a drummer and he's in Brazil. His name is Raul Marquez, and I said, "Is this something you could do drums with?" Right? So he within a day he sends something back, and I was like, wow, that sounds phenomenal. Like maybe I can just do this myself and not have to worry about, getting everybody in the room and figuring it all out. So that's kind of how it all started. So it was just me and him, and then I was like, well, I'm not gonna, I'm not a singer, so I asked some people I knew. One was Pete Healy. He's here local. I was in a band with him years ago called Oberon back in the '90s. So I asked him if he would sing on it, and he was like, "Sure, man." So that's how he got in on it. And then out of the blue, I sent a message to Marley from Hyperia because I had heard their stuff and I liked her. Her vocals were like really aggressive. Like she can scream, she can sing. So it was like I wanted someone that was a female voice that was really heavy, but not bordering into death metal heavy, but just kind of
Yeah,
screamy and melodic still. So yeah, I just out of the blue introduced myself and said, "Hey, I'm recording an EP here. This was before the album was done, of course. So I said, I'm recording an EP. Would you be interested in singing on it?" And she said, "Let me check it out." And I sent her a track, and she was like, "Yeah, cool. This is really cool. I'd love to do it." So who knew that that would happen? But that's how the core of the band, the people came together first. And then when I
yeah,
decided after the EP to do a full album, I asked more people to be involved because I did the bass on the EP myself, and I'm a guitar player. So my approach to bass playing is, as a guitar player would play bass, very very rudimentary. Like you play the root notes, you're not really familiar with what a bass player does, kind of thing. So it's functional, but I thought, well, to do an album to make it better, I should get people who play bass involved. So there's a number of bass players on the album that I think made it all that much more better again, and more singers. And there's like I think 8 or 9 of us all together on the album.
that's pretty cool though, man. Like that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm collaborating with several artists that I've met over through the show and stuff. I've got to have all my stuff ready by the end of November to send out, and then see what they send back, man. Like you said, it's either going to be fucking killer or it's just going to flop. But you never know, right?
Yeah. Do you play guitar as well, or?
Yeah, more or less guitar. I do some singing now and again. It all depends on the song, right, and the tone. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
strictly really guitaring. But I usually will write or compose. I guess they say everything that goes into the song. But I think with a few of these songs, I'm just gonna like give them the riff and let them interpret it themselves, and then send me back what they think, and then go
Yeah.
back and rewrite the lyrics depending on how it comes out, and or so she'll be interesting for sure.
That that's kind of what I had to do. Like usually, like being in a band situation, everybody brings their input, whereas this is more my project. I wrote all the lyrics. I put all the songs together. In some of the cases, I showed them very rudimentarily how I wanted the vocals to go, like phrasing wise. I'm not a singer, so I did very embarrassing vocal takes of me basically singing the song, saying this is how I envision the phrasing to fit over it. Some of them just I didn't have to give them any direction. I gave them some lyrics, and they went off and just did it themselves. But so it was a challenge, but I think the end product came out pretty cool, and I was happy with it. And um, I wasn't envisioning releasing it on a label originally. I was just figuring, I throw it up on Bandcamp. This is just a project I'm doing myself. But like I said, my other band, Category 6, got signed to Moribund Records, and I said to Odin, the guy that runs the thing, I said, "Hey, I'm doing my own solo thing too, and you know, what would you think of checking that out?" Just figuring he'd say no, and he originally did kind of say no. He was like, "Well, we have a full roster for the rest of the year. It's pretty tight. We're not really looking to sign anyone new, but you send it over if you want, and I'll take a listen." And well, he
Yeah,
took a listen and he said, "Oh wow, this is great." So that's how it got released on a label, and we actually have CDs coming out next week on Friday. So it's
gonna
pretty
ask
wild.
about some merch for either band, actually, your main band or the side project, or you have merch and you got CDs coming out soon for these guys. Your other band, do you have merch and stuff where we can find it and help support
Well,
you guys?
yeah, well, the Moribund Records website is where you can order the CD from. Um,
Nice.
they have them. They'll be well. They're shipping probably already, but the release date is October 28th.
Yeah.
And as for my other band, we're working on Category 6. We're working on our third album. That will be out on Morbin Records in early 2023. So I guess look out for that then. Maybe we'll talk again when there's Category 6 news to share. But that album
Uh,
is, 99% done. So in another few months, we'll be promoting that, I guess. But right now, I'm focusing on trying to see if people like Triskelion or not, and see how it goes.
yeah. I know what I heard last night. I got the chance before everyone rolled in last night there. I'm definitely a big fan. I love, like you said, you're right on the verge of death metal. You can understand all the lyrics and stuff, which is nice. The older I get, the more I appreciate that. Even with the screaming or the growling, to still have lyrics that you can hear crystal clear. That's a trick.
Yeah,
That's an art to do, and you seem to have brought the right people in for your project. That's for sure.
yeah. It's like I'm a fan of like screamy vocals. Like I love black metal stuff, but I don't really
Mm,
like the really deep, growly, Cookie Monster stuff a whole lot. Although I do like,
mm.
Morbid Angel and a few death metal bands that are
Oh,
classic. But I'm not a big death metal head, so I didn't want to have an album of growling, and I didn't want to go too close to power metal because some people hear something that's not growled and they just say, "Oh, you're power metal," and I didn't want this to be
yeah,
power metal. So when I started, I thought to myself, I want to do thrash metal, but I don't want to do, um, I don't want to be Slayer or something, for example. I want to have it
yeah,
a little more melodic. So I said, to myself, I thought this is melodic thrash metal. Some people call that power thrash or, old school power metal before it got too symphonic with keyboards and
mm,
orchestras and stuff. So I don't know where
yeah.
it falls,
Sound,
but I kind of envisioned it as basically, thrash metal, but a little more melodic. That's where I
yeah,
was aiming
a little
for
bit
it,
of
and whether or not people agree, that's up to the listener. But that was where my head was at.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been in arguments fuck with people. It's like that's power metal. No, that's different metal. There's so many subgenres and genres to it now. I just call it all metal now. Metal, man. Like, what's the
It's one of
what?
the
Oh,
I was
go
gonna say
ahead,
it's
man.
one of the only styles of music that has so many. It seems subgenres, and every day you hear a new term like of metal. Almost, you're like, what the hell? Right? Like post shoegaze, death blackened, whatever. You're like, what the hell? Like, I got to look at my feet for this kind of music now, or I, yeah, I stick with the main ones like power thrash, death, black, traditional metal, glam
Yeah,
metal. Like you're the one once it starts getting more broken down than that, it can get a bit ridiculous, but it's
yeah,
fun.
yeah. A little ridiculous with all the stuff, but you're right though. Like to go from what it just used to be metal or heavy metal, you know what I mean? Rock and roll to heavy metal, and then now there's so many subgenres to it. It's almost unbelievable. Like you could spend a lifetime just going down that rabbit hole alone and hearing all the different music from around the world that comes out.
Yeah.
But the Deadwood, another great band out of Montreal. They're one of the newer death metal bands I like, but I don't know, the way he growls and screams, it just works perfect for me. But like you said, I like Death Angel, and then you have your Slash Slayer, of course, right? But when I play my music, it's nothing like that at all. I'm more like a fucking '90s grunge compared to everybody else. I have a few pretty laid back for the most I play, right?
Yeah.
So with the guitar and shit, like how early was it when you picked it up and started?
Ooh, I wasn't super early. I don't know my exact age. I was probably 13, 14, or in that ballpark. Um, you know, there was no
Start out.
there was no one guitar player like a lot of people say. As soon as I heard, I don't know, Ace Frehley, like some of the classic guys. As soon as I heard, Jimmy Page play the solo to whatever, I had to play guitar. I wasn't that guy. I was kind of like I started liking heavy music or hard rock that was out in the '80s, like that was popular. Like you hear your Van Halen, AC/DC, Motley Crue, those kinds of bands that were big then. And a friend of mine had a guitar before me, and he was like, "We should be playing this stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And he was like, "What are you gonna do? Play bass or play guitar?" And I was like, "I don't know. What do you want me to play?" So it wasn't like I. And he said, "Play guitar. We'll get my other friend to play bass." And I said, "Okay, let's do it." So it just started from
Right.
there, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Fucking, it's always weird to see because everyone played a guitar. I know growing up, everyone was a guitar player. Very few people grabbed that bass or say jumped on the drums in that sense. It was the
Yeah,
fact that it was like Slash, Kerry King, or your role models, like they're the front men of the band in the sense, even though Axel and them are supposed to be, right? But it always came back to your guitar player back then. But now things have
yeah.
changed so much. Even now you got like fucking oh man, I just seen him Primus. That guy, he plays fucking bass better than 90% of people that play guitar, but it's
Yeah,
insane. Do
yeah.
that.
Well, the guitar has gotten so almost out of control with its technical ability. Like you go on YouTube, and the YouTube guitar masters are, there's maybe 10 that are like well known, and they're doing awesome, and they're not in touring bands. They're just playing their guitar on YouTube and talking to people, and it's a weird time
Yeah.
for guitar players because I didn't grow up in that era, and I'm not a part of that scene whatsoever. I'm more about recording my own music, and people like it, cool, and if they don't, well, that's up to them. But
Yeah.
the ability of these people on YouTube, man, they're like incredible
Oh,
musicians, right? But
you guys got a
whatever you want to do, I guess.
right? And then the 17-string guitar man or whatever the fuck. Now they've got 21 strings. Right? I can barely work
Yeah,
six.
I know
I really only
six is enough.
four. Mostly five sometimes. If I'm getting fancy.
No, I've always said that, someone said to me, why don't you try seven string? And I said, man, the first person I heard play seven string was Steve Vai, and he had progressed light years beyond most players, and he needed a seventh string. I said, if I ever master six, maybe I'll consider seven, but that's not going to happen. So
Oh, I'm the same. As much as I would love and can envision myself with the 7 21-string guitar walking down the deck. No, that's not happening in reality, right?
no, no.
So with the new project, is there any chance of you guys kind of doing a tour? I know everyone's kind of spread out and shit, right? So would it have to be like a
Yeah,
festival to bring them together for that, or?
well, I don't envision it happening, but if something really wild happened, and the album did super well and there was a demand, then it wouldn't
Mhm.
be out of the question to do. But I mean, for everybody to try to get together from all these different places to do something, or for me to pull like local people together to do it's possible. But you know, I'm kind of considering it a recording project right now, and take it as it comes, see where it goes, and I've already started. I have a folder of riffs for the different bands and stuff, and I have my Triskelion folder with riff ideas, song ideas, and I have almost 100 in there now. So I'm always, every time I pick up the guitar, I'm like, don't write any more riffs. Just play guitar and practice something. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, shit, that's a cool riff, and I better record that. So I end up with this mountain of riff ideas, and so it won't. It's crazy, but hopefully, maybe next year, maybe we'll have another Triskelion album. That's kind of, it's not definite, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'd like to have done. Maybe this year, next time there'll be another album. So
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. That's kind of what I thought about with what I'm doing with same kind of project, same kind of idea. Then I was like, I'm gonna have to throw my own festival and have all these bands come just so I can play the encore with our songs with every band. That way we technically get to play the album. But be pretty wild. But we'll see.
yeah,
But what's the weather like out there right now? I know you guys just had that hurricane shit blow through not long ago.
yeah. The Hurricane Fiona was intense. It was the west coast of the island was pretty devastated by it. There was a number of homes completely destroyed, a few homes washed out to sea, or storm surge destroyed their houses. I'm on the east coast, so we didn't get the wind or the storm surge. We got the rain, and we had in about a day almost 200 millimeters of rain, and it
Holy,
was it was madness. It was like, what, nothing closed that day. Everything was still open, but there were like streets closed. There was a road that had flooded, and basements flooded. There was a lot of damage, but it wasn't like stormy. It was just like it rained and it just didn't stop. So it was
constant
pretty
rain. Like
wild.
that's a shitload of rain, bud. Like that's
Oh,
insane.
that's a lot even on our standards of rain. Yeah. But
Hmm.
today it's all blue sky out there today. It's gonna supposed to be 15 or 16 degrees Celsius, so it's gonna be a good
I
day
know
for fall here. Yeah.
last 3 weeks have been cloudy. We haven't seen the sun or nothing. We're pushing through, trying to get all our work done before the snow flies, right? And then
Oh yeah.
yesterday was finally the first day of sun in like 3 weeks that I've seen because I've been way up north working too, up in Sudbury and shit. And then I finally got to come home for a couple of days. Now that it's nice out and I can work, fuck, I don't know, man. I can feel my skin getting hotter. I was like starting to burn up a bit, So today
I know.
might be I'm not making it kind of day and just fucking sleep. But with all your projects plus working the day job, like you've got to get burnt out and just say fuck it every once in a while, or do you always hit that wall and then just climb over it and keep on going, or do you sometimes
Um.
sit down, have a bite to eat before you climb over the wall, fucking chill out.
Yeah. No. My escape from 9 to 5, or just bullshit of life, is guitar. So and writing music. So I don't seem to run out of ideas, or reach a wall where it's like, you know, the only wall that I feel that I ever reach is like, I want to do more, and I want like, I want the push to do more, record more. So that's why I started Triskelion, is because, I have like I said, 8 million riffs in the bank, and I'm like, I want to writing a riff and just sticking it on your hard drive or something, saying cool, isn't very rewarding. To
Well, it's almost
finish it,
you can
record it, and make a
uh,
song out of it is. So
compare it to almost like Stephen King. The guy's got 1,000 fucking books he's wrote, and they're all different. You know, it's kind of no different for you in that sense, but it's with music instead of the books.
yeah,
Where you have these lyrics, you're piecing them all together. Next thing you know, as you said, you got 100 fucking riffs. What do I do with it all now? Right? Like, how do you? So that's got to be a bit of
yeah,
a trick. You're basically, even with the other band, even though you are signed, you guys have been, most of the work's been all independent on you or the band or the people you're working with, then, eh?
yes, yeah. The band Category 6, we did our first album independently. Our second album we was released by a German label called Killer Metal Records, and
Nice.
our third one is coming out on Morbid Records. So yeah, we're pretty much an indie band, obviously on an indie label now. So we'll
Yeah.
see where it goes, but yeah,
No, I'm
it's not
excited.
about it's just about, for me, it's about making music and recording it, and if a label releases it, then that's icing on the cake, and if people buy it and love it, well, that's all the
That's
more cool.
even
But
better.
it's I'm gonna write and record music no matter if I just throw it up on Bandcamp, because it's
Yeah.
kind of what I do. So
See, we got in this conversation the other day. Forget who I was talking to. Like my buddy from Australia there. But we were talking about the different aspects of music, and it seems with the heavy metal music, we all just do it. Like you're not looking to, of course you want to make money, but you're not looking to be like millions and millions of fucking dollars, big tour bus. If you don't get it, you're still gonna keep doing it. Like
yeah,
our
yeah,
rewards for our effort are so tiny in our community, but yet it's so rewarding in the end, regardless. even that one person tells you, man, your music saved my life, bud. you know?
Yeah, I know it's like unlike pop music or popular music who their only drive is to be a pop star or a diva or you know
Mhm.
maybe when I was 17 I thought I want to be a rock star, but that reality fades pretty quick when you
Yeah,
see what
you know, yeah.
especially
Soon
when
as
you got to pay
you're
bills and everything else, right? So
not going to be
but
famous
yeah, so
right
the
away.
people doing it I think are more the people doing like metal and this kind of under or any style of music that's not popular, world touring, charting music. I think most of the people
Mhm.
that do it are doing it for the right reasons, which is the art of it and the love of the music and the thing, not just because fame. If I'm not looking to be famous, I'm just looking to record music, and if people enough people buy it to fund the next recording, then that's success for me. Not being Metallica or something.
Mhm. All right. Well, they don't understand too the troubles that come with that. And then okay, you become that big. Now you're on the road for 300 days of the year.
Yeah,
You know,
that's crazy.
all the Metallica, Kiss, fuck. Some of them have separate tour buses because they don't even get along very well anymore.
No,
Just get on
yeah,
stage, we play. It becomes a job then, and that's what I'm always afraid of. I don't want it to become a job because I
yeah,
hate my normal job. Not that I hate it. I do like what I do and stuff, but it's a normal job. I fucking hate it. And like you said,
yeah,
that music or this show right here is my escape from all of that. And like you said, it
yeah,
helps me not hit that wall. Even though my body's hit the wall today, my brain is still going and saying I need to do this, right? So
right. Yeah, definitely. I,
yeah.
I, I hear you. Yeah.
So with the other band, Phase Six, is it? Did I say that right?
Category 6?
Category Six, yeah. Have you guys done any kind of touring around the area and stuff, or gone kind of been
Um,
across Canada at all? Or?
no, no, we've been playing locally. You know, we started in, I think it was 2009, 2010, the band started. So we've played around our area here. It would be nice to, get outside of here and, hop in a bus or something and play a few places. Maybe that'll happen with the new album. Even if it's a couple week tour or something, that would be super cool to play. Like even like eastern areas of the country, kind of thing. Maritimes, maybe get into Quebec, Ontario. That would be super cool. Like it's something we're hoping will happen, but I mean, who knows? We're going to keep plugging
That,
away regardless if that happens. But that's like a long term thing we've talked about, like to get some shows outside of just playing in the St. John's area, kind of thing.
yeah. No, I got some real good buddies of mine. They're actually coming to the show here next weekend down in Portland, Maine. But they're all out of Montreal pretty well. It's like Dead Man's Prophecy, Last Dance Amongst Wolves. As I mentioned, Deadwood, right? Empire to More, Your Last Wish. I should find out what their tour dates are next year. If you're looking to come down this way, I can maybe set up a show or two with them when they're on tour, right? So that'd be
Cool.
sick. And then our Halloween show, you guys fit right in music wise. Maybe next year we'll talk about getting you down to Portland if you guys can travel across the border and stuff, right?
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, going to become an annual thing. So this will be my first year helping host it and put it all on and organize it. So if it goes fucking good, they're going to welcome me back next year. So
Right.
crossing our, you know. So
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. That sounds cool.
yeah. No, my family's out east. They're only in New Brunswick or whatever, right? But
Right.
I had, like I said, there's you guys and one other death metal band out from your way. Like, what's the local scene like? Is it really fucking jamming, and I've just been blind to it, or is it a very few groups that are out their way, right?
Well, there are bands from in terms of like heavier music, there are bands from all different styles, from hardcore and punk and alternative to death metal, melodic death metal, black metal, just regular heavy metal. I guess there are lots of bands. I don't know how many of them are no, none of them are like so far are pushing outside of Newfoundland and playing shows across the country. It might happen. It's bound to happen for someone sometime. The only band from here that ever has ever happened for, you probably heard of them, a band that formed in the '90s called Chevy.
Oh
They
yeah,
are a they are like doom stoner Sabbathy kind of
Buddy
Kaya
Kruger
style
interviewed.
metal band, and they've played across the U.S., Canada. They've played in the UK, some of Europe and stuff. Uh, they don't do a whole lot, but I mean, they're still probably the biggest success story for a heavy band that came out of this province. So, and they're
Yeah,
still kicking it 30 years later. So that's pretty awesome.
yeah. No, you can't argue with that. It's so weird. Sometimes you find bands that have been together fucking a million fucking years. They've been done like 13 albums, and I'm just finding them now in that sense, and I feel so bad about that. But on the same end, it's when I meet them and stuff, it's exciting for them to see the excitement of being a new fan now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
have
definitely.
you
I think
had?
a lot of bands too are they're not signed to a record label, even a small indie label, or they're not represented by any PR type person or anything at all. So any success they have is just what they can generate on their own, and
On
that's
their own,
not
and
that's not very easy to do unless you have that skill and the time, because I wouldn't have the time to send out press releases to 2,000 people every other week. Leave that to someone who knows what they're at, and I'll just stick with writing riffs and stuff.
working with Mitch from Australia, she does all the promoting and pushing for the bands themselves. Obviously, John Asher is a big one here in Canada, right? I
Yeah,
don't know
John's
how
awesome.
those
Yeah,
in the time, bud. Like, I don't know how they do. Like, I do a fair bit, but not a lot compared to those people. No, no way. I'm just a little wee fucking dude over here that they send all their stuff to. But the amount of bands that between those two of them, like I had to hire Hollywood to help keep up with it and get it all back organized and scheduled. So it's like holy.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
So I'd say
John Asher represents a lot of the stuff I do and has helped me a lot with you know, getting out press releases and stuff. And now, obviously, the record label itself and their reach is, different again from what John is. So, with John and the label, it's the word is getting out about Triskelion and then the other band, Category 6, coming. So, yeah, we'll see. This is the first time that two big projects I'm involved in are getting that kind of double-headed push from a PR guy and a label. So maybe it'll do
right,
well. We'll see.
hit it good on both fronts, and then fuck, that would be killer, man.
Yeah.
Set up a two both bands like that's my buddy Dave drums for the Dead Man's Prophecy and Last Dance Amongst Wolves. So it was pretty easy to get both bands that way. Oh, I just talked to my buddy Dave. I got the in. So
Yeah.
that helps. That's two bands on the bill, that I only had to go to one guy to get. So that could turn
Yeah.
into a big positive for you in that sense to where,
Yeah.
you know, best case scenario, both bands are on tour together in that sense, right? But you would be
As
able
long
to
as I have the
handle that.
stamina to play two sets, eh?
I was gonna say, a lot of people don't know how much energy that is exerted on stage as an artist, especially in the heavy metal community. Even
Yeah.
R&B and rap, they jump around, they're fucking dancing. Like you do that for an
Oh,
hour
it's
and a half,
physical.
man.
Yeah.
See what happens, right?
Yeah.
Feel your legs cramp up, your voice gets sore, your hands fucking right? Like,
And then you
is
got to do
there
it all again the next night. So.
yeah, 2 nights later again and again, 300 days a year, right? But is
Yeah.
there any like exercises or prepping you do before you say go into the studio and spend 3 hours playing and getting riffs down or going on stage?
Well, for just coming up with riffs and recording, there's no. It's just like,
Yeah,
hey, I had my supper. I'm gonna go play guitar, and I come in here, and
yeah,
this is my little musical kingdom room where I do, all my CDs and records and my guitars and all that stuff is all in here. So I just come in here, my little fortress of solitude, and pick up the guitar, and what happens happens. There's no big plan. Just riff and figure out. Just start playing guitar, and 2 hours go by. You're like, oh wow. But as for
Yeah.
playing live, there's no real ritual. It's just kind of like, long as the band you're playing with have rehearsed and jammed enough, then you're confident that you're not
You
gonna
don't need to
fuck up. Well,
get off the bus and fucking, roll the dice at the time or something, right? I know some
yeah,
people, quite a few people I know personally, just friends of mine, that when they get on, they have a little ritual. They go, I'm not going to say what they do and stuff, but it's the same every time. It's almost a little like I'm like you. I just fucking let's do it. I'm
yeah,
ready. I'm ready. 3 months now. Like let's
yeah.
do it. But
Plug in,
my
go. Yeah,
buddy,
exactly.
he's got it. He's got this little ritual he's got to do, set things up, do his little fucking prayer in that sense, I guess you would call it. I'm not sure. And then boom, he's ready to go. But he cannot do the stage until he does that. You know what I mean? So almost superstition in that sense. Well, I did it
Yeah,
my
yeah.
first show. I'll do it every show after, right?
Work the first time, and that's why. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
guess
think
that
the
goes
only
for
ritual I
anyone.
have is change the guitar strings right before have a new set of strings before you play a show is about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm the
As a
worst.
guitar player, the fear of breaking strings is always there. You don't want to break a string, especially where the band I'm in is a one guitar band. If I break a string, the song turns to shit because it's just bass and
Yeah,
drums and no guitar. So there's no other
yeah.
guitar player to carry the riff until I grab a new guitar. So that's the only thing the only ritual I would do is the day before, or a couple days before, I put on a new set of strings. That's about as
Yeah.
ritualistic as I get.
That's a good one to keep. That's pretty cool. I never change my strings. I should. I went and played with playing around there with Fortunate Losers up in Sudbury, and Devin looked at my guitar. He went into his personal stash and gave me a set of strings. He's like, "Here, bud." I can't even believe those strings work anymore, man. They're all black with dirt and shit, right?
That's part of the sound now.
I thought so. Right now it's all too high pitched. I don't know. It's too clear now. It's almost too crisp.
Not muddy enough, no.
No, so it's something I kind of ask now and again. Off music, like what's the non-metal music that's stuck on your playlist, like Madonna from back in the day, or like Cher, like.
Uh, um, yeah, well, there's nothing that's not metal that gets really stuck. There are
Mhm.
things that aren't metal that I guess it's more nostalgic than there's not a lot of new things that come out that's not metal that I like. There are things that I liked when I was a kid that was not metal. Uh,
Mhm.
well, it's semi-metal. For example, on the Triskelion album, the last song, which I kind of view as like a bonus track, I did a cover of a Billy Idol track. And so Billy Idol is a non-metal. Well, there's a guitar. It's sort of hard rock and pop, punk, whatever. So it's got that ballpark of getting towards metal, but it's not metal. But I recovered a Billy Idol song because that was when I was a kid. One of the first things that the guitar music I really liked a lot was Billy Idol. I thought Billy Idol and Steve Stevens were the shit when I was 12 or
Right.
however old I was when I heard it. And so yeah, so Billy Idol, another band that back in that day that I still like today. I like Duran Duran a lot.
Yeah. I haven't heard
Uh,
that in a long time. Actually.
oh man, I even bought their newest album, so I don't like it as much as the Rio and those early '80s albums. That's my go-to if I want to pop on a nostalgia trip for Duran Duran. I'll listen to something old like that, but there are
Yeah.
some non-metal things of like those kinds of things, and other things that are some people call metal. It was called metal when I was a kid, but isn't anymore. Like people will say, Van Halen's not heavy metal. It's like, well, when I was 13, they certainly were because there was just heavy metal. So
New
I
metal
still
or
like
old?
bands like that are not. Newer kids today would say, "Oh, that's classic rock or something," which to me is like, okay,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it. To me, it's still metal. But old bands like Van Halen, Motley Crue, Doc, and um, I don't know. bands of that ilk and era kind of thing. You know, I still like all that from when I was a kid. So they're not really heavy metal as we define it today, but you know, they're close enough to
Yeah.
it that I still like their stuff.
No, it's true though. Like I got some older stuff that I listened to. My sister showed me it. She was all about taping MTV back in the day when you could record off the TV and shit, and then play the
Yep.
videos back. So a lot of those bands stuck in my head. So when they come on the radio, I'll be like, "Oh, I fucking know this song," and everyone will look at you like, "What do you mean you know that song? How do you even know that?" You
Yeah. Definitely.
know? Yeah. But yeah, like you said, Billy Idol, if he comes on the radio, I'll fucking turn him up. You know, he's
Yeah, he's got a
doing
brand
fun.
new EP out. It's freaking killer. It's like just it's called Cage or whatever. He's got a new single out, and it's, you know,
Holy crap.
3 minutes of like, you know, kick-ass hard rock. So
Yeah. No, that's pretty wild. Like, even I was listening to the fucking CBC radio, and they had Tom Jones on. Tom Jones did a whole cover album, and he did
yeah,
"Creep"
right.
by like it's pretty wild, but he sings it in his own style, so it totally threw me off guard. I had to listen to the whole fucking thing. I sat in the driveway and finished off the show. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Tom
No,
Jones, you
I
know,
of all people, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Fuck, I
No,
think
but you
even
know,
Will Shawn an album, you know.
oh yeah, he did. Didn't Zach Wild play guitar on a couple tracks or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember.
Pretty
Yeah.
wild, you know. Zach Wild, well, once again, another guitar legend, you know. That guy's
Yep.
phenomenal, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've seen
I
him a few times actually.
I haven't seen him with Ozzy, but I have seen him with Black Label a couple times. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I never got to see Black Label, but I finally got to see him with Ozzy there in Chicago a couple of years back, right? But
Right.
he comes to Canada usually around my birthday in around September every year. So for a couple of years in a row, no matter where he was here in Ontario, we fucking tracked him down and went and seen him, you know.
Yeah. No, last time I
Great.
saw Ozzy, he had Gus G on guitar, which was interesting.
Oh,
He was
yeah,
probably Ozzy's most short-lived lead guitar player, it seems.
right. And true though, you know.
But he's phenomenal. I prefer what he does in Firewind over what he, you know, his Ozzy stint. So, but
Mhm. No, it's true. Like even the older I get, Ozzy the classic, I don't really listen to it very much anymore, you know. I don't know if it's because I overheard it, like overplayed it and
yeah,
stuff as a kid, or
the
and
new
then
Ozzy
now it's
album is actually really good. The
no, I've heard the
Patient
one
Number Nine. Yeah,
that one's getting a lot of radio play. It grew on me at first. I was iffy on it, but the more I hear it, it's
yeah.
like, yeah, no, it's pretty good, man. I like that, right? So
No, I like
I
it.
can't
Yeah,
wait to
yeah,
pick up the rest of the album, you know, and actually sit down, have a day off, and just listen to it, right?
yeah. I think you'll like it. It's, you know, it's his best one in a few years. It's a maybe because he got so many different guitar players involved and not just, you know, he's got a
No,
lot
that's
of, you
quite
know, non-metal legendary guitar players like Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, and Zach Wild is on
yeah.
there. He's got a lot of people on there, so I guess it varied the style enough that it sounds a little fresher, but also reminiscent of old Ozzy, some Sabbath, Tony Iommi's on it. So
No,
yeah, it's
that guy
cool.
was when I grew up. He was a big influence on me. Hendrix, of course, right? Kurt Cobain, because I play left-handed as well, right? So it's always you always seek out that left-hand player to identify with, right?
I'm left-handed, but I play normally.
No way, yeah. See, I'm
Yeah,
technically, I guess I'm right-handed, but I play left-handed with guitar. Hockey's left-handed, right? Baseball, I fucking lefty, right?
yeah.
I think it's because teacher. I remember being a kid and I'd write down with my left hand, and they were like, "Nope, that's the hand of the devil. You're gonna write with your right hand." They would force me to do it. It was like, oh
No
fuck.
way.
Probably why my handwriting's so terrible. It should have been with my left of my whole life, right? But it just chicken scratch now.
And
Fuck.
nobody writes anymore. It's all typing now anyway, so it's a lost art anyway, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Type anymore. I hit the little wee speaker button and I talk to my phone. The remote,
Yeah, yeah.
poof, pull up fucking Slayer on YouTube that does it for me, right? Yeah, Alexis. You know? I got a
Yeah.
question. This is something I ask lots of people, man, and I think it's kind of contributing to the rudeness of society. Do you thank Google or Alexa after you ask her questions and she does stuff for you? I always do. I'm like, thank you, Google. Or I look up Google Map and they'll be up pulling that down. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Google. You know, like everyone just, you know, they talk so rude to their phone. And Google, in that sense, it comes off when they're talking to normal people and shit. Sometimes it's like they don't have that switch off mode, you know?
Yeah, no, that reminds me of my mom speaking to Siri on her iPhone, asking Siri to whatever and then saying thank you. And I look at my
Yeah.
mom and like, Siri doesn't care if you thank her.
I find with Google or Siri, the more polite you are, the it's almost like she actually gets it right more often than not, too. Like, because you're like, fuck off, Google, you know, pull this up, and then she'll pull up fucking kitchen sinks, you know? It's like, that's not what I said, man. Fuck it. Sorry. Right. I can't answer that question. You know, it's like, I know you fucking can't.
If they
But,
don't answer the question right, I usually just ask it in a more angry voice and it gets it right.
right? Yeah. You gotta say that word. Why didn't that work? Because you didn't scream at it enough, man. You gotta yell at it more, and then it will work, bud.
Yeah.
Why don't you get going here, bud? I'm gonna go ahead and maybe take some Advil or something. I gotta call my boss. Tell him I'm not coming into work today. I told them I had the interview. They're pretty good. They're pretty. They allow me my time off to fucking do this, but the morning shows, and then I usually go off to work in the afternoon, man. But my body's telling me no, it's not happening today. So
Yeah, take it easy, man. Take an Advil, have a nap, and feel better. Yeah.
your wife,
Listen to
that's
some
what.
metal, make you feel better too.
Right? That's a smoker's cough. That's not COVID. That's a well-earned 20 years of smoking, right? But you being in the biz so long and having a fair bit of experience now in the biz, is there any advice you can give anyone that's thinking about becoming a rock star in that sense, or wanting to get into business in general? Like,
Well, if there's a young person that's picking up a guitar and has the dream of being a rock star, then go for it, right? I don't want to be the guy to say don't do it because it's not worth it. It's the only thing is try to keep in mind keep keep reality in mind to some degree that you should have a fallback. You can't you throw all your chips in that pile of I'm going to be a rock star. There's only 0.01% that's going to fall into that. So always have a backup
yeah,
plan, right? Make sure whatever it is you want to do outside of that, you can do, and whether that involves developing other skills through training or whatever, schooling, whatever you got to do, always do that too, because you know music itself is a tough go to make a living at, of course. So that would be my main
yeah,
advice. Try to keep it real, and but don't let that deter you, because the rewards for doing it is not just about money and fame and being a rock star. It's if it's someone like me, the rewards are you've recorded an album. You like it. It sounds good. Someone else might like it, and it's the whole art, creation of an art. Like you,
and there's 50 people there. That moment right there with those 50 people, that's amazing. You can't buy that. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of the same.
yeah,
I always tell them don't get in it for the money because there's no money on our side, right?
no, there's not very much. That's for sure. You usually got to. It's a hobby that you have to spend money for, basically, in a lot of ways, right? You have to
Like the
be willing
show.
to put money into it and not expect, if you get it all back and then some, then that's you've won, right? If you don't get it all back, well, the win is you've created some art, right? And some people make their money by playing in cover bands and doing selling out to that kind of scene, and I understand why they do that because they just love playing music. But I'm not the kind of person that loves playing music. I love writing my own music. So the rewards for that, in terms of money, are a lot less different, are a lot different than someone who's willing to play anything. Right? So
Yeah. That's so true though, but that's something I always say, don't get in it for the money, get in it because you love it. And the money will
yeah,
maybe eventually come. Like last year, we just did our budget for the year last year with the bands and the shows we hosted to pay for the show and all that was just under $5,000 out of our pocket. But we didn't do it to make money. We did it to get the bands on the stage and get them playing and when I'm trying to build that business. But I understand it's going to be 5-10 years before I see a dollar, like, but yet I'm still doing it, man. I love it. It's my passion, like it's my escape. It's why I'm still alive probably today. It's music and the show right here, so.
yeah, cool. How long have you been doing the show?
The show goes back just over 6 years now, man. But
Cool.
in the beginning, I was drinking beer, shooting guns, hunting and stuff. I was living down south back home with my cousins. And then about 2.5 years ago, like we've done gaming, we've done all kinds of shit, travel stuff. But 2.5 years ago, my friend Tammy, I give her credit all the time for this. She's like, we're sitting at a concert. And she's like, why don't you fucking make your show about music, you idiot? Like, that's what you love. We're at concerts all the time, I was like, something clicked, bud. And then last 2.5 years, it's been just fucking music. And I couldn't have made a better choice. She couldn't have put a better suggestion in my head, So the last 2 years with the bands have come a long way. We've actually grown very quick, built a very good reputation amongst the bands and stuff, right? So it's
Right,
getting there,
cool.
man. But it's definitely been a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money, right? But it's
Yeah.
worth every dollar, man, every dollar.
Well, hopefully you keep at it, man, because there's not a whole lot of people that support semi-unknown
Yeah,
underground things. They just want to cover Iron Maiden all day. With Iron Maiden's great and all, but I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you know,
Slayer of Metallica on the show. Oh, I'm so for the local bands, no matter where you're from, your local band, anywhere in the world, local bands. Like that's what I love. I love the underground scene. If you get almost that raw, that real music in that sense, like because you haven't been corrupted from all the industry and all the yes and all the like the money per se definitely changes people when it does come, So
yeah, you must. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen, but who knows?
yeah,
I'm
you
happy
never
just to
know.
keep creating, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, the more you create, just man, get a hold of Hollywood myself, man, and every time you get something new, no. Hollywood just she's standing over there right now. She's like, yeah. She's been a huge
Cool.
part of it for the last year now. You've been helping us and working with us, eh? Working with us, it's me. It's working with me here. It's us now. Andrew Joseph's joined on. Here's Hollywood
Hello.
here. He's been doing a lot of shit behind the scenes for us too, right? He just opened for Afro Man there last weekend. I
Cool.
couldn't make the show, but it was fucking sick for the videos I seen, so that was pretty awesome. But well, one last time, man, tell us where we can find both your bands, Category 6. I'm gonna pronounce it wrong.
Triskelion.
Fucker. Italian, yes. I'm so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hollywood's like, I know what it is. I'm very dyslexic though, but I've always got to clarify. I know what I'm saying, right? But where do we find all
Yeah,
your
but
stuff? You got CDs coming out too,
um,
right? So
yeah, the best place, I guess, to day-to-day news is social media. I guess Facebook. Both bands are on there. Category 6 and Triskelion. Um, the other place, for if you want merch kind of thing, the label will be the place to go. Morbin Records. They've been around
mhm.
since the '90s. They're well established, so I'm super pumped that we're working with them. And the Triskelion album is there for pre-order now. It comes out next week, so that's the place to get that from. Category 6 will be there. Our earlier albums are probably all out of print. I'm not sure if we have any copies left. If we do, you'd have to send a message through the Facebook page and ask and see if any of the members have any copies kicking around. Other than that, YouTube, Bandcamp. You find some stuff on there too. So
Oh, excellent, man. Yeah, if I could get you to email me over the links, I'll get the title
yeah,
updated. And I think the links are below too, and we advertise you guys are going to be on the show. If not, we'll get them in there as well. And fuck, man, you guys, I fucking really liked your music today. Like, it's got that awesome vibe to it. Like you said, it just flows. It's fucking nice change from my death metal that I do listen to, right? So.
yeah. Hopefully we succeeded in keeping it heavy, but you know, also people who would like maybe not the death metal will like it. People who like the death and speed and thrash will like it because it's somewhere in the middle of all that. So we'll see how it goes. Category 6 is not thrash. We're more traditional metal, a little bit of power metal, a little bit of thrash metal, all female vocals. So it's not screamy or death metal or nothing. So influences there would be like Dio and Sabbath. I don't know,
All the
Priest,
greats.
Maiden, your traditional metal kind of bands. That's kind of where that band is at, a bit of Metallica kind of stuff. It's a bit of thrash, but Triskelion is more my extreme. And under a pseudonym, I'm in a black metal band, two-man black metal band called Artax. So we have 2 albums out, and that's just like, total chaos,
Yeah.
it's not meant to be well produced and whatever. It's meant to be raw and like Venom or something, and like almost
Yeah.
like a train that's ready to go off the tracks at any moment. So
You got that out as well, man. Send us a link to that
yeah,
too, man. We'll put it in the titles for you. Make sure we
yeah,
expose
cool,
any music, man. That's what we're here for, right? So
cool, man. Thanks a lot for having me on and supporting the underground.
oh, anytime, man. Now out east, what time is it where you are then? You're about
It's
3-4 hours ahead of us.
we're an hour and a half of Eastern Standard Time, so it's just after 11 now, like 10 after.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm always thinking 4 hours, but nowhere's 4 hours. Like BC's only 3. I'm always 4. California's 3. I'm like, it's 4 hours. So it's always a
Yeah,
juggle to get the time,
yeah,
especially when it
BC
comes
is
to
like they're still asleep now, right?
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but man, I really appreciate coming on, man. I had a great time. I know I'm not feeling well, but fuck, you really put a smile on my face this morning, man. You helped out big time.
Thanks, man. Hope you feel
Hey,
better. And when you
yeah,
get the thing up, send me. I'll send you the links, and when anything is available to share, I'll make sure I share it on all the band pages and stuff, so people can check it out and
excellent. Yeah,
stuff.
what I'll do, if you send me the links right away, I'll get that all done right away for you, and then I'll send you over the copy of the show, and then you can share it up or just send you to the page where it is. Because
Yep. Cool.
we're live right now on the show, and then
Right.
as soon as we hang up here, it's there. Boom. So
Okay.
people
Cool.
can watch it later on through the week or whatever they want, So
Right on. I'll send you the links right after we're done then, and sounds good.
perfect, brother. Love it, man.
Alrighty.
Thanks again, man. Fucking play it loud, play it proud, no matter what you listen to. And we'll see you at our next shows. Let me check the book before we go here. Dun, dun, dun. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I got a couple more days off. That's awesome.
Alrighty.
All right. Play it loud, play it proud, baby. And we'll talk to you guys here real soon.